Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market doesn't open up here for about, what is that? An hour and 15 minutes, but there's some interesting activity out there. So maybe a pre-market trade, maybe not, but if there is a pre-market trade, then I'll just get the video rolling again. I wanted to at least get things set up, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, wow, crazy how much action there actually is out there right now when it's such a long time before the market officially opens up, but we'll see what happens. All right, watching for a break here of 1885. This is mainly coming from, there we go, the pre-market chart right there. So big move up, now pulling back here a little bit, which is good because you never want to chase a stock. But at this point, it's pulling back. Things are cooling off a little bit. But if it does want to show that it wants to work back up there, then I would be interested to try to play a breakout of right around 1880. So we'll see if it can get back up there, but now relatively big pullback. But then again, this is a very, very fast mover. But that's the current goal, and let's see. Market still doesn't open up here for 35 minutes, so I mean, a lot of activity out there. All right, well, it's working its way back up now. Just going to take 100 shares because this is a fast mover, and then you combine that with the fact that it is pre-market. So it is a higher risk trade, but you know, position size is a great way to counterbalance that. So we'll see if it can get up there to the 1880-ish area. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to get in now with that pullback. Let's see if we can get the break up over 19. There it is. And all out there for a $96 score. So very, very nice. Happy with that trade. And that was only on 100 shares too. So well worth it. Although, honestly, I thought I was going to be getting more from there. I thought I was at least going to be, but then again, it's a fast mover. But when I hit the sell button, I'll have to scroll back and watch again. I was thinking I was going to be walking away with probably more so right around 125. But then again, with slippage and just how fast this is, I actually shouldn't be that surprised by it. But like I said, when I was looking at the level twos from the time I pressed the sell button, just really kind of goes to show how fast things can change. But overall, happy with that first trade. All right, it looks like I think if 19 fails here, it's got a great opportunity to flush quite a bit, maybe even down as low as 17, which is why I have an order you can see down here to try to buy, again, just 100 shares for the same reason as before. But 19 is definitely being a very, very stubborn level. So if it fails, though, I do like the chances that it could drop down quite a bit. There are no shares to short on my broker Lightspeed. So when you look up here, you can see if there was shares to short there, that would just be green up around there. Actually, let me pull this up real quick. So what would be, so Apple. So if you see the green E up there, that means that there's shares to short. But there are not. And maybe this is just wishful thinking. Maybe there's no chance that this thing was actually going to pull back to where I was looking for it to. Maybe 19 will be the bottom of that pullback, but nonetheless, that's where I felt comfortable getting in. That's where it made technical sense for me to get in. But I'll keep that order out there. Okay, approaching 19 with some downwards momentum, so maybe this is finally the time where it breaks. But once again, 19 holding strong. Well, I wish there were shares to short. This would be a very interesting. When I say short, in case maybe you're new, that means making money when prices go down. Totally bizarre concept. I get it. If you are brand new, you're like, wait, what did you say? I thought it's buy low, sell high. Well, yeah, but believe it or not, you can make money when values go down. So, that's why I'm saying if the price were to be able to break down below this 19 level here, not guaranteed, but reasonable think to some selling pressure might show up, which is why I'm thinking selling pressure could show up enough to potentially bring it down to $17, which is why my order is still out there. But as we just witnessed again, $19 definitely being very stubborn. Once again, approaching 19. Even if I don't get filled here, I think there's a good learning lesson to just see how fast it should move. So there's the break, and check that out. Basically a break and move of 90 cents within seconds. Now it's gotten a little bit of a bounce back upwards, but went as low as, basically 18.10, which is 90 cents in less than 10 seconds move. Stings a little bit. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. If only there were shares to short, but it is what it is. But let's see if the price can now pull back to that $17 mark, which seems reasonable right now. But like I said, even if I didn't get filled, I'm glad we caught all that on video. Nice little miniature learning lesson there. Well, I canceled that order out. It has now started to bounce back upwards, and now the market opens up in 15 minutes. So like I said, I'll probably just wait until the official market open. I suppose I won't make a guarantee on that, but odds are high that I won't be looking to make any more trades. So I'll just see you back at the market open. Market opens up here in less than 1 minute. Do have an order out there for just 100 shares, again at that $18 mark. So this is the pre-market. You can see right now still pulling back here. So looking like there might be a pullback on the open. Now I'd like more than 100 shares, but $18 will at least allow me to get my feet wet. So the markets are open. Oh, I'm looking like this one's going to get halted here. All right, well, yep, that's going to get halted. So if you watch over here at the level 2s, you'll see they're about to shut down here. There it is, shut down. So never mind, let's go find something else. All right, looking to potentially buy Boeing here if it looks like it wants to break 197.25. But as of right now, looking like it wants to pull back some more. But want to see what kind of candle here forms. I would like to see it pull back a little bit more now. What is that? Yeah. If it could break down a little below 196, that'd be great. There we go, nice. So what is that? High of 196.75. So 196.75 now. Looks like an interesting area. But this thing just wants to keep on pulling back for now. All right, I'll keep an eye on it. Just trying to make a move up. Well, it shot up quick and then back down it went. Ooh, that candle has me very worried. That was a nasty, nasty move there. All right, well, Boeing is officially all over the place now, so I'll probably have to let this one settle down a little bit more. Well, that was pretty crazy. All right, I'm unsure if this is really wanting to be a bullish move or not. So because I'm unsure, I'm going to mitigate that risk by going with 100 shares. But I want to see if it looks like it wants to get up through the 196.50 area. So 196.50, like I said, I'm not sure if this is really a bullish move or not. I think it is, but I'm not quite sure, and I have no problem admitting that. And by admitting that to myself, I'm going to be able to manage risk on it a little bit better here. And do that just via position size. So again, 196.50. And the markets as a whole looking like they might want to be trying to stabilize out here a little bit. But as of right now, maybe it wants to pull back, which is why waiting for confirmation can always be a good thing. Well, now it's pulling back, so at this point, never mind. What I'm going to do here is get short at 195.09 because I think this thing, there we go. Might want to pull back some. So I got a little bit of a move in my favor, but now I want to get this thing a little bit of room to wiggle around. So not the greatest candle that currently formed, but like I said, you got to give these things a little bit of wiggle room here. So let's see if it wants to get back below 195. Well, that was a pretty quick turnaround. But not looking so good right now. If it does come back down to 195, I will be potentially looking to add to the position, because that would imply this bounce here was just a pretty much a failed bounce, which is good. So watching 195, like I said, again, potentially looking to add. So added 50 shares more. So now I have 150, average of 195.11. So let's see if this thing can work its way back down below the 195 mark. Excuse me. Well, if this goes up over 196.75, I'm going to have to take the loss here. Because now all of a sudden it is bouncing. So this one very well might have fooled me here. But perhaps not. Well, that's a nice candle there that's forming. Wow, so much so that I might look to add another allotment down if it looks like it wants to finally break down through 195. That's a very nice candle. I'm not out of the woods yet, still work that needs to be done, but some interesting action here taking place for sure. Like I said, if it looks like it wants to roll back down there through 195, would probably be interested in adding again to the position. So I did just add, now I have 300 shares. So let's see if this thing can finally get down through 195. A lot of weakness here. If it goes through 195, it should move pretty big. I'm not feeling very good about it though, because right now the markets are moving down and here Boeing is just kind of chopping sideways. So at this point, not feeling very hopeful. Again, markets are pulling back nice, and then here Boeing is just being stubborn and going sideways. Can it get down through 195? Well, we're at 195. No, we were, and it held very, very strong. But I mean, if it fails now, yeah, this is not good. Markets are pulling back, and Boeing is basically going sideways here. So now if the markets bounce at all, this is not going to turn out well. So I am not feeling very good about this trade right now. Yep, markets are at lows, and here Boeing is just going sideways. Come on, Boeing. You're supposed to be following the market here. Well, and yeah, now the markets are bouncing here a little bit, and up goes Boeing. So I'm fully planning on taking a loss here now. What a shame. What a shame. Well, it's teasing me like it wants to go back down. But at this point, I just don't believe it. The markets are just, I mean, like I said, moving to lows, and Boeing is just simply going sideways. So all it takes is for, like I said, just a little bit of a bounce in the markets. Sorry, Boeing, I don't believe you. I want to believe you, and I want to be wrong here. I want to be wrong. Hey, I am wrong. Let's see if we, but it didn't last very long, but let's give it another try. So broke down through there, but then that fast bounced right back up. Can it actually get more? There we go. All right. All right, well, I'll go with 100 shares now. Put my stop at 195.01. So, all right, well, it's going to be a winning trade. Now it's just a question of how big of a winning trade is it actually going to be. So now I'm just moving my stop loss down. And this is a good spot to be in, where you just have no idea how big a stop or how big a win is going to be. Because again, I have no idea how far down this is going to go, and that's a great spot to be in. If this breaks down below 194, I'll adjust my stop again, but not until then. So can we get a breakdown below 194? So all out there for a $143 trade. Took some patience, took some persistence, but you can see right here, Boeing, the market was just too much. The markets was like an anchor. So notice, the markets were pulling back, as I was saying, and then I was, commenting, well, geez, the markets are pulling back, and Boeing is just sitting here, going sideways. But the markets kept going down, and like any anchor, no matter how strong an individual stock actually is, eventually, it's just not going to be able to keep up anymore. It's going to run out of energy. It's kind of like if you envision a swimmer and they have a ball and chain tied to their leg. Yeah, they can tread water for a little bit. But eventually, if that ball and chain keeps getting heavier and heavier, or in other words, if the markets keep on dropping further and further, eventually that swimmer is they're not going to be able to take it anymore, and they're going to get dragged down too. Maybe that was too gruesome. I don't know. In the comment section, was that too gruesome? I don't know. But a good example there of how the markets ultimately, pretty much, I did nothing right there. Well, I mean, I did something right. I was patient. I didn't get spooked out or anything like that. But the markets really helped me out, and a good example there of why you should be following the markets. And I've done videos like this before, and I'm trying to. Oh, that was already alerted. FYI, if you're new to these videos, these are really live. This is not a voiceover. So I'm trying to talk to you, think about my own trade plans, make alerts in the chat room that I offer. But so sometimes, yes, I do stumble over my words, but this is raw footage. This is happening quite literally right now as I speak. And a little context, it is Friday. It's 9:47, well, 9:48. So what am I up? I'm up $240 in 18 minutes on a Friday. Well, technically speaking, I guess I made that first trade back there, but you can see right there that trade lasted all of 21 seconds. No, 22 seconds. Yeah, I think 22 seconds. But regardless, my point being, it's a Friday. I mean, it's summertime now, so maybe I will just call it call it a day, especially from a video perspective. Pretty excited we caught that on. I mean, a great example there. I may have to actually do a separate video on that too, because that's a very important concept to understand there about how the markets, like I said, Boyne was fighting. It was a good swimmer. It was treading water, but the markets kept on going out, and check this out now. So markets are now bouncing back upwards, and this is the SPY 5-minute, and you can see right there, Boeing also starting to work its way back upwards. So now the ball and chain is no longer weighing on it, right? The ball and chain has lost some weight, and it's going back up. So that is how the SPY can offer you some assistance and help out. So a good example there. Maybe I'll try to capture. No, I'm good. I'm up. Where in the world on a Friday and during the summer can you make $240 in less than 20 minutes? Like, I'm not a greedy savage. I'm more than happy with $240 in 20 minutes on a Friday, and I think I'm going to start my weekend off early. So with that being said, I'm just going to wrap this up. If you enjoy these live trade videos and you want me to keep making more of them, quick, easy way to communicate that to me, just hit that like button. Also, leave a comment down below, questions, suggestions, whatever. If you've watched any of my other videos, then you know that I do read and reply to comments. So yeah, let me know on that. And sorry, I'm still watching, trying to wrap up the video while I think, do I want to make another trade or not? But like I said, let me know, questions, comments. I do read them. I will reply to them. And then also just check out the channel as a whole. Lots of other these live trade videos if you enjoy them. And then many other types of videos, reviews, just quick tip videos, a good variety. So check out the channel and hopefully you decide to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and everybody take care. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.